Well, wouldn't you know it, it's time for more Datsun stuff. Last time we ripped out all this independent front suspension stuff, and now we have our solid Dana 44 here in the front. We've got a whole box full of all kinds of stuff, leaf springs, all this stuff to make this actually work. But now we gotta actually do the hard part. Well, the first thing we're gonna do with these jack stands is get them situated at the right height. I think that's right. In the back there, we're 13.5 inches off the ground, and we're 13.5 inches off the ground here. That is an incredibly lucky guess. I don't expect to get that lucky for the rest of this project. I think we're gonna have a little bit of trouble scooting all this thing out and like eyeballing exactly how far off our C's are from either side. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and put some U-bolts on, put some leaf springs on, and we'll go from there. Okay, let's see about at least getting this started. This is what I was worried about, because already we're sitting at 21 with the frame leveled out, which is pretty tall. Oh, it'd be great to have a second pair of hands here. There we go, it sure fought back, but you can see kind of what my idea was. We got the old U-bolt right here. I'll probably replace that when it comes time to do this final. We got the new one and the spring perch down underneath. Now what is concerning is I went ahead and I leveled this again. This is how it's gonna sit if it's going to be level with the rear. And if you see back there, it's tall. We're already looking a little tall. But we just dropped our U-bolts in roughly on the same side as the other one. And the spring actually can swing in once these are started, which is good since now that we're going under, we're having a bit of trouble. I fell over. Again, all this is like first mock-up. Nothing set in stone yet. All right, let's check if that's in the middle. It's not. Now we're in the middle. And there should be plenty of room for that. Okay. Looking pretty good as of right now. I've got a couple of concerns. That is a big pumpkin for one. We're gonna have to be cutting, I'm sure. And two, this is way too far out here. We're like 4 inches off. So, quick eyeball, this is gonna work. A couple of things I suddenly remembered putting this back together. The Jeep Wagoneer is shackle forward. I'm gonna bust out the shackles a little later, show you what those are. But I put these on the way they're supposed to be on the Wagoneer, which is shackle forward, which this is not. So shackle forward might be a little bit easier. It's what the Wagoneer had stock, but since the Paleolithic era of 1973, we've learned that shackle forward tends to ride like piss. I mean, it was like that on the Jeeps, it was like that on the Wagoneers, it was like that on Diesel Dave's YJ, which rode like piss. But he lifted that thing on Chevy 1-ton axles, which is why, thank you for reminding me, these leaf springs have a couple of leaves taken out of it, so it doesn't ride like a 1-ton. So that's halfway there. Let's get this thing situated underneath, and we'll see what we have to deal with. We might be forced to put shackles up front. So we got it scooched under there, and there's a couple of important things to note. This side has got a little bit of space here. That would just about fit our shackle. And that side doesn't. I didn't get it quite right. I just wanted to see if, for one, this axle under, this spring, all this setup would work. And it looks like it will. Just seat of my pants kind of stuff. No space there. Space here. Shackle could go there. Just the leaf mount can go there. And if you see in the back, it's right there. That is the back end of that. And the shackle could go there. That would be preferable. The rear shackle is what tends to ride a little bit better. So we're gonna mess a little bit more with that side just to sort of confirm that everything will work, and that'll be great. Might take a little bit more plate to do that. Usually these solid front axle swaps, they'll have like a big plate that they'll put here. This one is probably plenty sturdy, except it's all buggered up and bashed up. So I might go and get like a plate just to have a nice straight plate to work with. So I know this front leaf mount is usually supposed to go like this, so you could like bash crap off of it. But in case you can't tell, I ran out of frame there. So we'll put it back the other way. Ooh, that's a tough old 1970s bushing right there, that is. Don't worry, I will replace that. So there we go, there's that. It'll look something like this once I get a plate under it. Let's take a quick look-see at the rear. This is just a tiny stock shackle. Like I said, this is our starting point. Most of the information about how to do this has been lost to the ages, so we're gonna get this figured out. All right, a little low, but it's good to know that the front will work. The shackle is the easy part. You can stick a couple bars there and just adjust it any kind. So that's probably what I'm gonna do. Like I said, I'm gonna need a thick plate for the front to mount the leaf hanger, and then some different kind of shackle, and probably some just random bar to make everything work. But it looks like we're on the right track. I think I'm gonna do a little bit of shopping, and then we're gonna finalize this. All right, so I got our front spring perch mount here on this bar. Went ahead and bought that. It's a 2x4 by 1/4, and if I was smart, I would have got 3x4 by 3/16 because it is a thick boy. But that's all right. Better too much than not enough. It's already been measured out. Got this mount all squared up here. Now it's just time to get it tacked on this side, the other side, and then we'll go back and mount it up. All right, let's get her going. This is like 1 inch on the money from the frame. Can you test your side?
Like, from where?
I did it from right there.
It's like 2 inches. It's
2 inches?
like 1 3/4.
1 3/4. 1 3/4 plus 1, 2 3/4 over 2. What's that? Okay, so we got that welded up beam clamped up there, and our leaf springs are in the front, and that's really the hard part. That's got the most of the measuring. So what happened here was we wanted the leaf springs to be about 1 inch more narrow at the front, about 1 inch more wide at the back. Let's see if we managed it. That's 29.5. Up there is 28.5. So we did. Things are looking a little bit strange in the back, but I think we're still doing all right. I'm happy with the way this turned out. Now we just got to do the rear. The front, we were 28.5. The middle, we were 29. So in back here, we want to be 30. So let's measure what this here is. 26 7/8. I don't know if this is quite parallel though. Let's take a measure up here. I guess it is. Okay, so we got this thing mocked up roughly how we want it. If you've done much looking into these things, you probably know that this shackle is supposed to be at like 45 degrees as just sort of a rough measurement. That's sort of a rule of thumb. Right now it's a little bit more, it's at like 55. I figured that 10 degrees more would help for when this thing decides it's gonna sack out, because right now it's unloaded. 45 degrees once the load is on is probably a good starting point, but there's also a formula to do this. It is the arc length So you just kind of follow your leaf spring like this from eyelet to eyelet. It's kind of hard because it's not bent perfect, you know. It's about 47 minus your shackle length. Right now I have it set at 4. Yeah, so the formula is the length of your leaf spring from eye to eye following the arc, subtracted by the shackle length, and then add like a 1/2 inch for error for the bushing deflection. So that's 47 minus 47 minus 4, 43. That's just about there actually. Could probably go an inch more then. So we'll do that, get the thing set up right. It'll be cool to get it closer to here. That means we'll have more bracing. Let's see how we're looking. Could go a little more. Alright, so we got it sitting on its own weight in the front, sitting on jack stands and stuff like that up here. And if you take this, got it level on the bubble level. And if you come back here, we're still looking level. And then down here, what did I say that rule of thumb was? 45? 46.2. So we're looking all right. The only thing we're off is the width. I was hoping to be 31.5 from outer to outer on the leaf springs, but that didn't end up happening. We're 29.5, and I think that's because the bushings are all junk on the old ones, and once we have some bushings that'll actually push it out, it'll probably be closer to 30. But I'm all right with it now. I don't think I really want to mess with this and like stuff this out more. It's already hanging out a little bit. Once I finally weld this through with the 220 welder, we're gonna gusset this up and reinforce it so it's not hanging out like that. So don't worry, that will be fixed. And now it's time to get our caster dialed in. Girlfriend is reading the caster off at the top of the C on the other side, and I'm over here with the jack. I'm lifting up on the back of the diff, and we're gonna set it for, well, obviously there's no weight on this thing, so it'll probably sink down once it does, and as it sinks down it'll be getting more caster, so probably 3 to 4 is what we're gonna go for. All right. Any improvement?
You're at 7.
7.
You're at 5.5.
5.5.
Still 5.5.
Okay. How about now?
4.4.
4.4. All right. I was trying to pick up on it, pick up on the whole thing before.
Now it's at 3.8.
3.8.
Yep.
Okay, I think I'm happy with that. I left these axle U-bolts undone, so what I'm gonna do is tighten them up now and then see how it all looks. So there we go. Here we are sitting on, not the wheels, but we're sitting on the weight of the axle all the way around. I tacked all that stuff in and we still got about 4 degrees of caster, so that's good. And unfortunately we're just going to be tacking stuff for now. I'm going to have a friend with a 220 welder help me buzz all this stuff in for good. But for now, all of our front suspension is tacked in. We got to figure it out just about the way we want it. Some small changes with the bushings in the back. Also probably going to change from those adjustable shackles. I just didn't know where it was going to end up, so I figured some adjustment was better than shelling out big monies for something that I might not use. But I think we had a pretty good day getting all this together. Next up will be the transfer case cross member. But until then, thank you very much for watching. Have a good one. Shoots.